Thanks to our great sponsors, Jack Burford Chevrolet in Richmond, Jerry Goebel and State Farm Insurance, Richmond, Express Roofing, we've got you covered, expressroofing.net, Cumberland Valley National Bank in Richmond and Berea, Luxury Pet Services in Richmond, Time Warner Cable, Equipment Sales and Rentals, Madison County Schools, Tatum Enterprises, and Real Life Community Church, myrealchurch.org. We want to be sure and thank our fine sponsors, Berea Online, First Gear, WKYT.com, and the Colonel Sports Card Shop. A shout out to another great sponsor, Journey Auto and Boat Sales in Richmond. And welcome to another great sponsor, Kentucky Farm Bureau Insurance, Chris Hornsby in Highland Park.
Welcome to the Coach John Clark Show.
Run!
Hi, I'm Samantha Burford with Madison County School Sports Television. We want you to watch the head coach John Clark Show of Madison Southern Eagles.
If you want to learn about these guys, tune in to Madison County School Sports Television. Let's go!
It's the John Clark Show from Cumberland Valley National Bank in Berea.
Welcome back to the Coach John Clark Show. I'm Samantha Burford here with Coach John Clark. And Coach, it was a heartbreaking loss this past Friday night.
Yeah, but we're
Homecoming of all games.
it happens. We had a lot of ups and downs the week going into the game. Didn't like a lot of things that happened in the first half. There were some better things in the second half. We're a team of ups and downs right now. You know, we're a tale of two football teams. I have a lot of coaches I talk to that they sit there and we talk about the season and they go, "How did you beat Bourbon though?"
Right.
You know, and then
right.
we're a tale of two teams. We play this style of ball and then we play this style of ball, and consistency's got to get there or we're going to struggle throughout the year with the schedule we have. You know, we're not playing any cupcake teams by any nature. So.
Right. What do you think the difference was in your team compared? With Tate's Creek.
Well, turnovers and mistakes. Turnovers and mistakes.
Right.
You know, we were inside the red zone, what we consider the red zone 4 times, didn't capitalize on last Friday, and then a turnover right at the half. We're down 20-23. We're driving, we get the ball inside the 20, we turned over after a big run. I thought that was the difference in the game. We score, there we go up. Everything. And all the games. We're a ball control offense that runs the football, takes big shots in the pass game. We've been hitting all of that on all cylinders. We're playing better defense. We're tackling well. We're keeping things in front of us. We're making quarterbacks uncomfortable. If we don't turn the ball over, we're probably sitting here 3-1. But there's a lot of ifs out there in the world, so it is what it is. There's a lot of ifs. So we have, and so we're 1-3, and we're taking ownership of that. That's on us.
You expected to go in winning this game. You knew Tate's Creek was a good team. Big offense.
Good team. Scored 64 the week before in a loss to Henry Clay. Scrimmage Boyle early in the year, played them close. Played with Belfry, who's a great team. Belfry they scored 38 on a good Belfry team. So we knew this is a good team. At the same time, though, we also know what we're capable of, and we felt like we had some mismatches. They had some mismatches, too, coming in. We knew that. Number 17, the receiver's there, is an outstanding football player. He's about a 6'5" kid. We have no answer for him. He went up and got a touchdown there in the second half. He's a good football player. There's kids like that we're going to face that we just don't have an answer for. Mm-hmm. Everybody plays kids like that. You know, we used to have one of those kids ourselves. But now we can't turn the ball over. If we don't turn the ball over, we're in a whole different position. We're playing sound special teams. It's just turnovers. Turnovers are everything right now. You can overcome a lot of mistakes if you don't turn the ball over.
Do you think anything was a little different this past week with homecoming being part
Well,
of the
homecoming
events?
wasn't the issue. We had a lot of other stuff going on. And this is stuff that goes on inside high school programs that a lot of people don't realize. From the previous Saturday, the Saturday after, the Saturday before, all the way till Wednesday, we had 7 deaths within our team and or coaching staff that affected our team and players.
Oh, I do not know.
That's
that.
unbelievable.
Most people do not.
That's
know
unbelievable, and we're talking family members that
Just
are really
relatives.
close to some of these boys. Some really odd situations. So there was a dark cloud kind of around everything, and we addressed it all week and talked about it. We don't, we dive into those issues. We don't avoid them, but that's a lot of emotion.
Yes.
Roller coaster ride for teenage boys. I mean, anybody dealing with death, but when it's a lot of your starters and kids in your team and brothers, and it affects a lot of kids. That hurts.
These guys are, they try to be tough, but
here's the reality of it too: is one, it affects you emotionally.
Exactly.
It makes you question a lot of things.
Yes.
And then on top of that, you're dealing with the loss, which is hard enough, but you're also missing practice, missing school.
Yes.
Which all throws you out of sync. You don't sleep very well. All those things have really affected our team that week. And I'm not making excuses. I'm just talking about some of the things going on. I was really proud of the way our kids handled that. Before the game on Friday, we had a couple other, sometimes you pull a bad card out of the deck.
Things you can't control.
Our starting defensive end, Logan Banks, who happens to be one of those young men that lost his grandfather in the week, and it's been a hard week for him. He ended up all night with the stomach flu. He didn't play at all in the first half.
And you thought he probably would play.
We thought he was going to be fine, and he's a difference maker speed-wise for us on defense and effort. And he missed the first half. Played him a little in the second half as his fever came down. We kept track of him, but I thought he played well. But not having him the whole game was a bit of a game plan change for us. And then also, what was even more surprising is at team dinner, my starting left tackle, Jordan Thompson, who's a 2-year starter for me up front, ends up with a stomach bug and ends up at the doctor before the game even started. And then that's actually been going around my team this whole week. My quarterback coach played quarterback in practice today because all my quarterbacks were even down. So we're dealing with a lot of adversity.
So what do you do when you don't have either quarterback? What do you do?
We practice, and Coach Skinner was Riley Hall in practice today.
Okay.
No, and he played quarterback at Marshall. We saw some flashes of some brilliant things he did. Did you
take pictures?
Listen, you got to do what you got to do. We still have to. I mean, we had a lot of guys down this week.
Yeah.
And we've got a lot of guys that are going home tonight not feeling very well. As a coach, I've got concerns about the wellness of my team for Friday. I don't know. I don't feel comfortable we're going to be at full strength to play the defending state champions.
I can't imagine that you would be.
We've had half our team either have or getting the stomach bug right now that's going around.
Right.
It's crazy. I've never had it spread through the team like this. So we're dealing with a lot of outside adversity. I feel fine. We're dealing with a lot of outside adversity around the team. Add turnovers and young players into that. There's some things. But, the turnovers, we've got to fix that. I've got to fix that. That's my responsibility. We've got to fix the turnovers, and we're not throwing picks. We're fumbling handoffs, and it's mental mistakes. But I've got to mentally get them more prepared.
Well, and
a fumble is a mental mistake. It's a mental letdown, and it's my job to get them mentally stronger when they're tired to be able to handle that.
All right. So the question I'm going to ask is what everybody's thinking, and I'm just going to say it. Most people expected your team to be a little bit like this now that Harris is gone.
Yeah, well, we didn't expect that. So
you didn't, but a lot of other people did.
Here's the thing. So look at our rushing stats. We're averaging 450 yards of offense a game. We didn't average that a game last year.
No, right.
So we're fine. We're not one-dimensional. Our team dynamic is great. We got to stop turning the ball over. That's something that we didn't do over the last few years, is turn the ball over like we are right now. We can't turn the ball over. We'll be okay. And here's the thing, too. When you schedule a tough schedule, which we did this on purpose, knowing what district and knowing what region we're playing in, we scheduled tough for a reason. Like, I think Garrett's 4-1. Bullitt Central is 4-1. I think Bourbon is 2-2. Tate's Creek is 2-3 now, but that's a good 2-3 team that's lost to the likes of some pretty good 6A schools. This week Pulaski's 4-1, and their only loss is Scott County. So we're playing a tough schedule. All right, you got Anderson coming up. Anderson is, I think, a 1 or 2 loss team to some good teams. Montgomery County is playing outstanding right now. I think they're a 1-loss team. Woodford County's 3-2. We've got a tough schedule. That being said, Cove Catholic is 1-3 right now. I think 1-3 or 1-4. They lost to Lexington Catholic by 1 point. So anybody that thinks that's a 1-3 or 1-4 team is crazy.
Right.
The key is this: if you're a 1-3 football team, and you're playing tough opponents, and your kids can mentally stay dialed in and understand that you're getting better for the long run, your team will be better in the end. I've said from day one, I think we talked about this last show, I'd rather win in the playoffs than win 10 games during the regular season and go 0 for 1 in the playoffs.
Right.
So we are okay with this as long as the kids can mentally handle the close losses to tough teams and win in the end.
That's
And the
exactly what I
question
was
mark.
thinking, because
That's the
it's a
question mark.
mental thing.
Absolutely. It is, because you start
Are
to
they
question
strong
things.
enough to handle?
You start
Are we
to-
really any good?
Yeah.
We're losing every game.
People tell us we're no good.
Right.
People tell us we were going
The
to lose coming
media
into
is
the year.
telling us, yeah.
Now we're losing games, and people tell us we suck, and they're going to stop coming and
So
watching us play.
how are we expected
Yeah.
to win in the playoffs?
Yeah, but our team has taken ownership of what the mistakes are. If our team can stay mentally focused through the adversity, we're going to be fine. Our goals are still in place. The goals we set for this season are still intact. They're still feasible, and they're within reach.
So the big question is, what are your plans? What are you doing different? Is with still having some men out that are still sick, what are you doing different
Well,
this week?
we've been a
getting
next
ready?
guy up team from day one, and we've played a lot of kids this year. Running back wise, we probably had 9 or 10 kids with carries this year. We're going to continue to do what we do. We always do the same thing every game. We add wrinkles that we feel give us an advantage against that defense, but our offense is our offense. Defensively, we add wrinkles that feel like give us an advantage, but our defense is our defense. Special teams, we're trying to exploit where we take advantage of things, and we've been repping special teams all summer long. So we feel great about all those things. So in that regard, you're not going to see any extreme differences. We've got some younger players that are getting more experience, that are starting to show that they might need to be the guy in there more frequently. So
Okay.
if we ever have a situation where I believe that if the senior has a chance to be the guy that plays, he's earned the right to play. If he's not good enough, though, you've got to play a younger guy. It's just the way it is if the younger guy starts to show that. Now, we've been playing a lot of seniors and a lot of young guys. We've been doing both. And there's starting to be some competition in there. So we need to see who's going to take the jobs. But we're going to continue to do what we do and get better and get better. And we believe in what we're doing. We stand by it. Our staff feels 100% comfortable with it. And I think our players trust us to do that. And we're just going to stay the course with what we're doing. We're not, there's no red alarm we're pulling right now that we're freaking out about anything.
No sirens going off.
Absolutely. We're playing 7 sophomores on Friday night started. 7 sophomores.
That's a lot.
There's an old coach is saying that for every sophomore that plays varsity, you're going to lose a football game. If that's the case, we're going to be 2-7.
Right.
But if that's our best option for our team on the field and gains experience, we're playing a Pulaski team Friday night that, I even joked with Coach Hines about it, that we've been playing these same kids for 4 years. They've got 4 kids on defense that have been 4-year starters. And like the rest of these guys are 3-year start. Like, they've been playing together forever. So the young guys on the field is only going to help in the future as well.
All right, so we got to give a shout out to some of the athletes because
Sure.
they had a good game. I mean, we got to talk about Sloan, even though he's sick right now.
Sloan has played 2 very good games back to back. Bourbon County thought he played outstanding. He controlled the ball well. He's had a high completion percentage. He's throwing touchdowns. He threw 2 against them. And then we turn around this next week and he throws for close to 180 some yards and 2 touchdowns again. And he had 1 pick this week, but it was a 4th down scenario in the goal line where we told him, hey, throw it regardless. We got to take a shot. And so we did, and we had a little mismatch height-wise. But he's protecting the ball well. He's playing very well. And that's what we need in our offense is we're going to throw 12 times a game. We need to hit 8 or 9 of them. We need a couple touchdowns.
Right.
And that's what he's doing, as well as he's ever done right now.
Yeah.
So very, very pleased with the way he's playing.
Okay.
On the flip side of that, Landon's our other quarterback. Landon's playing outstanding. Landon is a young sophomore. See, there you're talking about a senior-sophomore scenario.
Right.
Both are playing significantly. Landon's averaging about 60, 70 yards a game rushing. And, people see Landon as our run threat, but Landon can throw the ball. We just haven't had to with him because we have had what we've wanted in the run game. If Landon needs to throw, he'll step in there and throw too, and we're okay with that. So those 2 are both playing really, really well right now. Really well.
Okay. All right, let's talk about Smith. He had 12 carries for 75 yards.
Carter
on
is
TD.
Carter. You're looking at Carter. He's another sophomore right now. This is a sophomore that never leaves the field. Carter has almost 60 tackles in 4 games.
Yeah.
He's playing outstanding on defense. Turned around and he had 100 yards rushing and 2 touchdowns, 1 called back, so 3 touchdowns if that was not called back against Bourbon.
Yeah.
And then you come back to Tate's Creek here and he has, close to 100 yards again.
Yeah,
He was
about
in-
75
yeah, he was in
and
that
10
ballpark.
tackles.
And actually going through his tackle stats, he ended up around 15.
Okay.
So Carter's all over the football field. Taking into account, he's averaging 51 yards a punt, and then
We got to keep him healthy.
and then something that it's funny. I thought you'd ask about this. Our fake punt down in the red zone. Carter runs for the first down. I mean, Carter is doing so many great things on our team right now. Two of those three guys we just talked about, sophomores.
Yeah.
Peyton Skidmore's playing really well for us
Yep.
right now. Peyton, I think he had 115, 113 yards rushing this last game.
13 carries, yes.
And then he had a big catch for a touchdown. He's a kid we split out. He's Mr. Everything for us. We split him out at receiver. We put him in there to run the ball. He's playing defense now. He didn't practice a whole lot this last week because he had the knee injury against Bourbon. So Peyton didn't see the field a lot during the week, which Peyton's a kid that needs reps. We all our guys are rep guys that need them. So he didn't play much. So playing both ways was a little more than he probably should have done Friday because he didn't practice a whole lot. But I thought he did outstanding. I really did.
All right, let's talk about Stacy. 10 carries, 60 yards.
Yeah, Landon's playing really well. We just talked about him at quarterback.
Yeah,
he's playing really well for us.
That's right. Okay, so the next game is this coming Friday night.
Absolutely.
And Pulaski County. We already briefly touched on them, but I mean, give us your thoughts on any of their players and what you
Pulaski
look forward
is to me the rivalry that we embody.
Yes.
We've been playing them since I've been here. We've played them 5 times in 4 seasons. This will be the 6th in 5 years. The first time we played them, it was 63-41 was the final score. I'd never been in a game like that with over 100 points on the scoreboard. The next year we come back in 2012 and we lose by 1 to them. We're driving with the lead. We fumble on our side of the field. We're driving with the lead. They come back, they score, they win the game by 1. We come back in 2013 and play them. We lose to them by 3 at home. We fumble 2 times. That's the year we went 10-2. We turn around, we play them in the regional championship. A game we're leading at halftime. End up losing 32-28 in a game infamously known as the Mud Bowl, where I guess they just had a big rain cloud that rained on their field for about 7 days straight, night and day. So there's been a big rivalry there. Last year they put it on us at home. It was 35-0. We had a lot of starters out with injuries. That was the ESPN game. I felt like last year was a year they really separated themselves, but we weren't up to what we felt we should have been last year either. And we had a lot of starters out in that game. So, and that was a game that's still 14-0 at halftime. But then we had Damien was out that game. We had John Lamb broke his collarbone on that late hit on the punter that didn't get called. So we had some things that took us out of our game and opened that up in the second half. But we always feel like that's a big rivalry for us. They probably don't see us as rivalry anymore because they've kind of pulled away from us that last season. But talk about 2 teams that know what each other do. We know what they do. They know what we do. There's no secrets. We've been competing against each other in district challenges, and we've been, our kids know their kids. I mean, Jake Johnson, Gregory, Riley Hall. I mean, we've been playing these same kids for 4 years. The Holman kid at safety is as good of a safety as we'll play. He's great in coverage. He comes down and makes tackles in the box. He's been one of their leading tacklers against us over the years. So we know what they do well. We know what we need to do to beat it. It's just a matter. I mean, our coaches are talking about to our kids, like, you can line up anything they're about to do and we can tell you what's going to happen, but it doesn't mean the kids can tell you that. And they can probably do the same thing to us.
Yeah.
We know what's coming against each other. We've got to get our kids to understand and see it all that quickly as well. But I'm excited about Friday. I love playing these guys.
Yeah.
Love playing these guys.
Well, and you're going there. So, they will have the home field advantage.
Yep.
Will that make a difference?
Oh, as long
Would
as
you rather it be here?
It doesn't matter to
you
me. I think we play better on the road right now anyway,
You do.
to be honest. I do. I think getting the kids out of here, I think it minimizes distractions. We've played better on the road since I've been at Southern. I really feel that way. And if you go back and look at our home and road record, we've done really well percentage-wise on the road. So I'm fine with going and playing them there. As long as there's grass on the field, I feel good about it.
You're good.
Yeah.
All right, we got to talk about Sybil. How can we not mention her?
Yeah. She's 6 for 6 on extra points this year. She's doing outstanding. She's doing all this on top of being the all-star on the soccer team.
On the soccer team,
She's battling soccer injuries at the same time. Just really, really proud of her, though. She's doing a great job. We're working on kickoffs with her.
Okay.
That's something that we've kind of started to do slowly, and if that develops by the season ends, again, trying not to change anything she's doing. that's something that develops, we may do that with her. But we're starting to move her around, starting to get a little depth to her kicking. Feel great with her. You know, we're not ready to throw her in for a field goal right now yet. We're still trying to figure out what her consistent range is. So, you know, in the red zone right now, we're a go-for-it team. We know where her range is right now, though, better this week than we have at this point.
Okay.
So coming into this week, we know if we're at a certain point and it's fourth down, we may send the field goal unit out.
Okay.
So we're starting to feel more comfortable with that.
You know, because it surprises me that she is capable of handling both during the same season.
Yeah, it's tough.
That would be really tough.
It is tough.
And schoolwork.
You know, but our kickers, you know, until Garrison quit playing soccer, he's the only one we've had that all our other kickers have done both.
Yeah.
And she does a great job with it. You know, we don't have her a lot now. We get her on Wednesday.
Well, that's what I was wondering.
Like we
what
get
is
her
her
today.
schedule
We
for
get her
you?
on Wednesday at the end of our practice. She comes over from soccer, but she has soccer games on Tuesdays and Thursdays.
Right.
So we get her on Wednesdays, and you know, we talk a lot, and she'll work some things on her own throughout the week, but Wednesday's the only day we see her. So we always integrate her into practice on Wednesday. And what it is whenever she comes over on Wednesday, we transition practice to when she gets there, we're going field goal.
Mm-hmm.
And if we had to switch or do anything, we adjust to her schedule on Wednesdays.
And then if she has to leave, you
Yeah,
go back.
and and it's fine. And we're okay with that. So
Yeah, you got to do what you got to do.
I mean, here we're 6 for 6 on extra points. That's what we need to be able
I mean,
to
you
do.
couldn't ask for anything
Absolutely. We didn't have that option before she did
else.
this.
Exciting to see her come out there.
Yeah, she's doing a great job.
It really is.
She's
And
doing a
you
great
know, I'm
job.
so surprised that you're not getting more media coverage having her out there.
I am too, but you know what? It's okay. You know, I mean,
Yeah.
it's you know, there's been a little bit, but I'll tell you what's been neat that people don't see is a lot of girls in our community, younger girls, have picked up on this and noticed this, and are coming and talking to Chesney and you know, wearing a shirt with her number 36 on it, and we're starting to see these things pop up. I think it's pretty neat.
That is.
I think it's pretty neat. You know, I mean,
a sign of things to come.
You know, I never had a girl on my football team. Never really thought about it. Don't know what I would have thought about it growing up. Actually, I probably thought, well, football's for guys. But I tell you what, she's as tough as anybody, and she puts as much into what she's doing. She takes pride. Like if she misses in practice, she's mad because it's important to her. And that's important to me, that it's important to everybody on our team.
Yeah.
And we tell them I tell our guys all the time, if it's not important to you, you shouldn't be here. You know, and I love that she's there because it's important to her. She's doing a great job. Just like a lot of guys on that team, it's important to her, and they respect her for that.
That's wonderful.
Yeah.
She's one of them.
Yeah.
I mean, not really, but she is part of the team.
Absolutely, she is.
All right, so what's your word of the week?
This week is patience.
Oh, okay.
And this week is do as I say, not as I do. Because sitting at 1 and 3, I'm not real patient right now. But I know why.
That's why that word really shocked me.
Well, because sometimes we need the virtue of the week as much as anybody does.
Okay.
So I know for me.
Who picks it? Do you pick
I
it?
do.
Or?
Yes,
Okay.
I do. And then to me this week, patience is something I really need because I know we're young. I know that not a lot of games in my career as a coach or a player do you have 460 yards of offense, hold the other team to like 290 something, you know, under 300, and never punt. We never punted, and we lose the game. Just got to be patient. You know, I know that we're doing the right things. I know our kids are capable, and I believe this team will keep it together. I believe this team understands what's going on. They know they have to play a tough schedule. I believe this team will rally and will be what we think it can be by the end of the season. So I've got to keep my patience as well,
right?
Because they're going to respond to how we are. Now, am I starting to feel a sense of urgency? I'd be a liar if I said I wouldn't. I hate losing. But there's nothing worse than losing when you lose because you feel you gave the game away rather than the other team won. You know, a great example is in 2012, the year we went 7-5, we went down and played a really good Harlan team in Harlan County. And we got beat. We kept it tight. And at the end of halfway through the fourth quarter, we were just there physically. We're stronger than us, and they just pulled away. And I remember after the game, our whole team sat there and said, we gave all we had. We brought all our talent that we had to the table tonight, and we lost. And there's a sense of accomplishment knowing they were better than us. But when you lose and you don't feel you've brought all your talents and you've made mistakes that you shouldn't have normally made and you've turned the ball over, it leaves a bad taste in your mouth.
Yeah, and you know at practice you do this.
Yeah.
You can do it.
Yeah, we made mistakes Friday night. We don't make in practice. Easy
Right.
things like we had a 4th and 6 down in the red zone one time, a play that is one of our bread and butter plays, and our guys know their rules. One guy didn't do what he was supposed to do. And just why? Well, I don't know. I don't know. I do it all the time. I don't know why I didn't do it.
Right.
So when you start to get some of those things, you're not bringing all your talents. And when you lose a game that you're not bringing all your talents, that's a close game.
Yeah.
Well, you should win that game probably if you bring all your talents. But that is the whole thing. I mean, getting kids this age to bring all their talents and play mistake-free week in and week out. I've got to do a better job getting my team prepared.
Mm-hmm. All right, this is going to sound like a crazy question. Half of my questions probably are.
No,
Let me ask you, have you ever thought about when you say you need patience, have you ever thought, do you wish it was more like basketball where there's 2 games a week instead of just 1 game a week? No, you like having the 1 game a week.
I love the week. I love the preparation.
I didn't know if you would rather it be faster paced.
Here's why I love it. We lose a tight game to Bullitt Central on the 4-yard line. We rushed for 437 yards in that football game. We lost 4 yards short of winning that game.
Yes.
That team was ranked 7th in 5A last week. It's 4-1. We fumbled twice. So emotionally, when you lose your first game of the season, your kids thought you're crushed. So we come back the next week. In the middle of practice, we lose our starting tight end, who has been a 3-year starter and a team leader for us on Wednesday.
Yes.
And that emotionally scarred my team. I could feel it. It did me too. All right.
And I interviewed you that night.
I hated it. And then we lose to a Garrett County team. In the first half, we did not play like us. The second half, we won the second half. And so you realize, hey, we mentally were terrible the first half. The second half, we were mentally right. All right, so we come back the next week. We have the whole week to get that second half that was mentally right.
Right.
And then we turn around and we beat a Bourbon team that beat Southwestern. And we beat them on the road. And we beat them pretty handily. And we dominate the game, and we don't turn the ball over. So the ability to play once a week, to figure out as a coach, what do we need to play on? What do we need to fix? Because we have time to fix things that need fixed. I love that.
Okay.
It's not a deal of, we got to play tomorrow. We can't fix it.
Yeah.
We have time to slow it down, address it, fix it. The other thing I love about it is all these things that happen called life in the middle. Who would have thought that you'd have 7 deaths within the team at some capacity, team and coaching staff in a week? I'm sitting here, we're worried about winning a game, but the game's the least important thing going on in my football family.
Right.
So you got to keep your life into perspective too, but at the same time, you don't want to give up a game in the process. So there's this constant give and take that this game provides. And I'll tell you what I love about the game of football. Ultimate team sport. It takes 11 guys to do it. I mean, we had the top running back in the country last year. We didn't win a state title, did we?
No.
It takes all 11 all the time. We played as 11 and beat a good Bourbon County team. All right. When we don't play as 11, we turn over, we lose games, we miss tackles, we do these things. It's a simple solution, but it's a hard thing to accomplish. Everybody's mentally got to be right. Everybody's got to physically be right. There's so many little things that play into it. The margin for error is small.
Yeah. And
I love that about it. And this game is brutally honest. This game doesn't care what happens during the week in your family. This game doesn't care what happens in your life. This game doesn't care if you're sore, if you're sick. This game's going to be this game.
Mm-hmm.
And I love that. This game doesn't care that we have a great team that if they clean up all these mistakes, we feel can be make a really good run.
Mm-hmm.
But this game doesn't care about that. This game cares about what actually happens on Friday night
now.
At that moment.
Mm-hmm.
And I love that about this game. It's an emotional roller coaster. It's an emotional whirlwind. If we did that more than once a week, I probably would die of a heart attack. So, no, but I love the setup of it. I really do.
Well, we do have to give a shout out. You had quite a few football players that were on the homecoming court.
Yeah.
Some very respectable
we had some
young men.
Some king and queen candidates.
You did?
Yeah, so.
How
absolutely.
fantastic was that?
Yeah, that's great. It's great to see. I'm glad that our guys put themselves out there. And, I just, ultimately, this is just something that's a moment in their life that they're going to remember forever and what they're going to do. But how well they interview, how well they present themselves, the kind of person they are when nobody else is around is what's going to carry on. And that's not attached just to this program. It's attached to their family name.
Right.
And that's an important thing.
Mm-hmm.
And we spend more time or as much time talking about those things as we ever do football. And ultimately, that's what's really going to matter. Nobody likes losing. Everybody loves winning. But if they can walk out of our program and good, respectful men and young ladies that can be pillars in the community,
mm-hmm.
that's what we really, really strive for. And I love our parents that support that side of our program too. I really do.
What else do we need to talk about? Freshmen?
Freshmen,
JV?
yeah, freshmen are still going. JV, we've had some injuries. We're still kicking though. Our game this last week was canceled. Bryan Station, we had a doubleheader at Bryan Station on Monday, but they booked too many games, so they canceled the JV game on us.
Okay.
So we still played our freshman game. Our freshmen actually, they had a great game. It was Bryan Station's freshman team's been scoring a lot of points.
Yes.
We lost 30-6 to them, but it came down to a couple of very controversial catches at the end, and we were neck and neck with them all the way through the first half. And late in the game, it's 14-6 still. So we were right there with them. Our freshmen are improving. It's a group that did not have a lot of success in middle school, and they're starting to figure out winning takes a certain attitude. You can't have a losing mentality to win games, and so they're starting to get a little team camaraderie with them. They're starting to get a better attitude. They're starting to look forward to the work instead of dread the work, because the work's what's going to help you win. So I think they're doing a better job. I really do.
Okay. And JV as well?
Yeah, JV. We've had some injuries. We've gotten thin, but guys are stepping up and doing what they need to do. And they'll play again this next week, and we'll see where they're at next week.
Do we need to talk about any sponsors or anything as far as getting meals? Do we need? Now's your chance to ask.
Our boosters have worked their tail off to
Right.
get things together for our program. It's been pretty seamless in this fifth year of everything, just getting things rolling. And our booster president, Sarah Smith, does a great job with that. And all the boosters that, they cook meals, they get us fed, they make sure we have what we need. They're just doing
a lot of work.
It's more work than people can even imagine.
Yes.
It really is. And I'm ready for them to sit there and go, yeah, we're tired of doing this at some point, but their efforts allow us to do what we do for the boys, and it makes a big difference.
Right. Now, will you guys do anything for, I know a lot of teams do, ribbons or pink jerseys, anything for breast cancer awareness?
Good
in
question. In
October?
the past, we have, I don't know if you saw our helmets going into Bourbon. We chose to do an American theme on the 9/11 game, and our budget's only so big. We chose to go that route, so we don't have an endless budget to do something for every game of the year this year. So, no, we won't be doing anything particularly special for that, other than obviously, creating awareness by mentioning it and those things. But on the field, particularly, no.
Okay. Anything else, Coach? I always give you the last word.
No, I think I ask everybody to stick with us. We're not the team that people remember losing here in the past. We're competitive against really good football teams right now. People that understand the game are seeing that. We clean up these mistakes. This is going to be a good team, and there's going to be wins on the other end. I think people are still enjoying watching them play and seeing improvements.
And you need a big crowd to go follow you.
Yeah,
Friday night.
absolutely. And I don't think that's going to fade. I think, everything I've heard from people has been positive. I had a gentleman tell me the other night when I was walking up to the stands for the Tates Creek game, he kind of grabbed my arm, and he said, I've been going to every game. And he said, last Friday at Bourbon, he said it was the best football game I've ever seen this team play since I've been here, just as a team, all phases. Well, that's exciting to hear.
Yes.
And I agree. It was a great game by us.
Yes.
Our kids played a great game. We just have to put it together weekly.
Isn't it nice to hear that, though?
It's great.
Yeah,
but then
from an
frustrating to
outsider.
not do it again.
Yeah.
It's when you hear that and then you don't return it again. But that's the hard part, and that's what we've got to get down. And we're going to get there. We're too competitive and too good of a staff, and there's too much want to in the team not to.
Yeah. Anything else?
That's it.
Before we close?
That's it. Come to Pulaski.
That's right.
We need our fans there. It's always an exciting game. It's never short of excitement.
That is true. And then coming up, you got the crosstown rivalry in a couple of weeks.
Yeah,
end of
that's a
October.
while down the road. We're going to
Yeah.
wait. We're going to mention that other team in the county. We'll talk
Yeah.
about them later. But let's focus on.
We'll have another show in between.
Let's focus
that.
on all those other teams we got to play first.
That's right. All right. Coach, thank you. And thank you to Cumberland Valley National Bank. We always love that we're right next door to the football field.
Yeah, I love that I can bank on the fact that we're going to be here right next to the stadium. I just walked off the practice field, so.
That is true. That makes it extremely nice. So we really appreciate that.
very
And
nice.
Good luck, Coach, Friday night.
Thank you.
All right. Thanks for watching.
Thanks to our great sponsors, Jack Burford Chevrolet in Richmond, Jerry Goble and State Farm Insurance, Richmond, Express Roofing, we've got you covered, expressroofing.net, Cumberland Valley National Bank in Richmond and Berea, Luxury Pet Services in Richmond, Time Warner Cable, Equipment Sales and Rentals, Madison County Schools, Tatum Enterprises, and Real Life Community Church, myrealchurch.org. We want to be sure and thank our fine sponsors, Berea Online, First Gear, WKYT.com, and the Colonel Sports Card Shop. A shout out to another great sponsor, Journey Auto and Boat Sales in Richmond. And welcome to another great sponsor, Kentucky Farm Bureau Insurance, Chris Hornsby in Highland Park.
Hello everyone, I'm Madison County School Superintendent Elmer Thomas, and I want to thank you for watching Madison County School Sports Television.
Follow Madison County School Sports Television on Twitter, or like us on Facebook, MCS TV, and of course, watch all of our videos on YouTube.
Hey everyone, my name's Alex, and I want you to watch MadisonCountySchoolSports.com.
The following is in smokeless tobacco: cadmium, formaldehyde, lead, nicotine, nitrosamines, polonium-210, hydrazine, benzopyrene, and uranium-235. Don't be a dip. Don't dip.
According to the Centers for Disease Control, the definition of binge drinking is having 5 drinks over the course of 2 hours. When done excessively, this may eventually lead to memory loss, unwanted pregnancy, and sexually transmitted diseases, cancer, excessive vomiting, alcohol poisoning, and possibly death.
Nathan, can you hear me?
If you don't want to swallow any of this, chances are the next tube you put in your mouth won't be a good time. For more information on binge drinking, please visit the Centers for Disease Control website at www.cdc.gov.